Hello and welcome. Fantasy hockey season. Well, it's almost here. Hockey season's almost here. And one thing that I was able to do very well last year was dominate in fantasy hockey. Although, technically speaking, amongst the classic game, I was in the red last year. And I don't want to. Yeah, a lot of it was because I bet on the Leafs here and there that came to different spots, but it was other teams too, a few gambles, and most of my volume came in showdowns. But I am very confident I'm going to win all the classic, the tiers, and the showdown. And I destroyed the showdown last year, and I won in the tiers as well. I'm going to go over the first day hockey classic lineup, and I love it already. And other lineups as well. It's 10:43 a.m. on Saturday as I'm doing this, so this is participation lineups amongst college basketball. 100% participation for reward bonuses. And then we have National Football League Classic. This is where I'm probably going to be going in today's lineup. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. I'm going to be looking at this in an hour or so from now. Don't know what changes I'm going to make to it, but I got it set to how I think I like it early on anyway. Participation in golf, although I do play higher stakes, not much higher. $20 or so on the weekend, but just participation on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then we got a showdown NFL captain mode here, NBA Classic again, participation for that one. I'm not good at basketball fantasy. NFL Classic and NFL Showdown, NFL Showdown. I love playing them, and a lot of them are tickets that I would not really for this weekend, but for other ones. And here, this is the NHL first line. I really, really like where I'm going with this. 5 games on the first day. And as the first line goes, you need 2 centers, 3 wingers, 2 defense goalies, and any non-goalie, forward or defense. And I like to put guys that play on the same line together. And I've got 2 first lines on there. I got the Pittsburgh and the Toronto first line. First line for Toronto, Auston Matthews, Mitch Marner, and Joe Thornton. And Joe Thornton has a relatively not so expensive, but also not that cheap price tag at $3,600. Auston Matthews is the real deal, especially in fantasy, because this guy will go out there and block shots. Gets a lot of shots on net, so he's almost one of those fantasy type players. You can say this for all sports that just usually always gets points. When you click on players' names, you're not going to get any. I think that gives me a little bit of an advantage because I pretty much know all these players so well, especially after the time and effort that I put into hockey this year. And this means that as far as the channel's been concerned, I put a lot of chart videos up lately. They're going to go way down coming soon. Simply because I don't know how many games they're going to give me, how aggressive I'm going to play this within both Classic, Showdown, and Tiers. Showdown is number 1 for me, then Tiers, then Classic. And amongst this in here, Matthews, Marner, and Thornton also play on the power play. So you're looking for when one gets a goal from, I like to see Thornton from Marner and Matthews, or Matthews from Marner and Thornton. If I could put defense together, and I had a very difficult time within this stack. The best I could put was Marino in for Pittsburgh, and then I'm stuck with a $2,500 or $2,600 defenseman. Although there are going to be a lot of great players at 25, 26. I just like these 2 defensemen here, though. And for Pittsburgh, we got Jake Gensel, Sidney Crosby, and Evan Rodriguez, former Buffalo Sabre. We'll see if he can get it done, but he's on the top line, and what I like to look for, he's $2,900. The easiest way to fill the cheap price gaps is to pick players that just happen to be on a top line with big guys, and that's how you stick them together. That's the easiest way for me to do it. Ryan McDonough and Carlos Dehan are my defensive players. These guys just get points. These guys, and it's regular season. They block shots, and you do it more in the playoffs. And as it is, though, they're just good defensive players that I like. So that's where I'm going to go with this. Now, what I want to do in here is, how about the second line for Toronto? Let's keep the Pittsburgh line. That's just and then again, what I can do is I can try put it with another line. And maybe two guys from one line is a very common play too as well. And then you're just sometimes forced to stick in. And then when you look a lot of times, I'm looking for the 25, 28, 29, $3,100 steel players on a day-to-day basis. So with that, let's take a look at Toronto's second line, which is Jimmy Vesey, William Nylander, and William Tavares. So we'll get Tavares in there. And then on the wing, we got William Nylander and Jimmy Vesey. That leaves an average of 4,800 for your defense. Extremely easy in the Hockey Classic to get viable players at 2,500. So when I'm down to two guys, what I often do in fantasy sports is I'll do a simple mathematical subtraction calculation, which is what this number is, 96. Subtract what I know that lowest or maybe even highest, depending where I'm going on something, is, so I can see where I need to go. And if I know I can get a $2,500 player, then this can allow me to go, well, 96 subtract 25 is 71. So because I'm saving up, not paying for Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, and I can even maybe go with the better second line. Heck, let's see if I can put in Edmonton's top line. I really like that line too. That line is Zach Kassian, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Connor McDavid. But what you could have done there with that big cost is you could have put in like the big defenseman for Toronto, or mainly, especially the because you're going to line 2 with Toronto, maybe the first top defenseman on Pittsburgh. And I'm trying to remember his name offhand. I can't remember his name. It's just, that's bad. I mean, he's a star. Chris Letang. Anyway. Connor McDavid at center. Let's see if this is even affordable. Hopkins, 37. Is Kassian 37 or... Well, average is 37, so easily affordable, yeah. Zach Kassian, 35. Now, Zach Kassian won't play on the power play, but that's fine. Hopefully on regular strength, you can maybe pull up an assist, maybe get a shot or two and help it a little bit that way. Or even, that would be even better if he scored from McDavid, and then McDavid can score on the power play from Hopkins a couple of times. Stuff like that. That's what you're looking for. Make it so things go together more than anything. So 7,600. That means I can subtract 25. That gives me 51. Let's see what I can get for 5,100 and less on the defensive side. Daniel Nurse is on defense. He's pretty good too. Oh, this is easy. And I looked at him earlier. It's former Leaf defenseman, top guy, the guy that's replacing Klefbom, Tyson Barrie. That's who you put in. And now I can put in a decent size 3,200. I mean, that's a lot of those defensemen that I liked at that price, like Carlos DeHaan and guys like that. What a fantastic way. Ryan McDonough, Carlos DeHaan. I mean, there's two combinations right there. Vince Dunn on St. Louis. He can get it done. Justin Falk. I mean, this guy can get goals. Edmondson. He's on Montreal now. Carolina last year. He's up and down. Brett Kulak, Akish, Martin Marincin, Zach Bogosian, Pedersen. Pedersen's iffy. Philip Myers, I'm not a big fan of. You never know about Myers, though. But, I mean, we're really scared. I mean, when you're talking about guys like McDonough and DeHaan. Yeah, let's go ahead and stick in. And you have to have 3 different teams anyway. I only got Toronto and Edmonton now. So I have to have somebody else as it is anyway, so... I couldn't even put Ethan Barron as another one if I wanted to. Although I like Barrie better than I like Bear. And Barry's more expensive as it is anyway. Barry's a huge play at 4,400. I think. Huge play. He's going to be on the power play. He's their D1. He's taken over the role that Omar Klefbom had. He's a top dog. He's an offensive-minded defenseman, but that's what you're talking about on fantasy as well. So I got 2 more tickets for the puck drop that I'm going to play. I'm going to play 3 lineups on this. But just to get that lineup saved is what I'm doing. Beautiful. Tyson Barrie on the Edmonton stack. His price is way under. It's way too cheap. At 4,400, he should be. And again, we don't got stats from last year, but that's fantastic. Let's just take a look at some stats. This is Hockey Reference. I love Hockey Reference. It's one of my favorite sites for sports research. It's my favorite hockey research site. Not even close. Hockey DB is good too, though. So Tyson Barrie, former Colorado Rocky as well. What a terrible trade, at least for player-wise, they did when they sent Nazem Kadri out. Playing that second line on Colorado is something I want to think of as well, too. Kadri, is he with Landeskog? No, I can't remember. I can check on the internet what the line is. Left wing lock is where I get my lines from. 5 goals, 34 assists, 39 points in 70 games with Toronto last year. 14 goals, 45 assists in 59 games. Toronto had a whole bunch of defensemen in and out. Morgan Rielly was in and out. Jake Muzzin. But he's going to be probably the number one guy. And hopefully, again, you can get maybe some assists. You look for shots, 169 shots in 70 games. So he averages a little over 2 shots per game. 3% on him. Which means that's not uncommon for a defenseman to be along that way. So as far as left wing lock is concerned, let's try and make let's get Nazem Kadri in there. He's damn good. Let's see what his price is. So Brandon Saad isn't going to be that. I don't see how much. He's a new guy on the team. What was he on Chicago, I think, before? Yeah, Gabriel Landeskog, Nazem Kadri, and Brandon Saad. You also want to take a look at the power play. How does the power play go together for it? Because as I mentioned with Toronto and Joe Thornton, right now anyway, it might get changed in time. It's set that Joe Thornton's on PP1, so that's pretty strong if that's the case. So Kadri's on the first power play line with Rantanen and McKinnon and Landeskog. So Landeskog and Kadri are the two gluers, if you will, because they play together on regulation. And a lot of times putting two together, they're the ones that I would really like to go with. But let's go make another line. So let's take a look at Colorado. And we're going to go with line number 2. Oh, McKinnon is just damn good. But you know what? You hope for a game that maybe he gets shut. Oh, Kadri's only 49. Ooh, that's not that expensive. He's damn good. Now, I know he just lit it up in the playoffs at the end. I'll go to his Hockey Reference and show you how good he was. I like DraftKings for looking at stats, but right now you got nothing. After one game, you got a bet, and it works out okay. You get average points at time, and for the first few games, it's just going to be 2-game, 4-game, 5-game average. And then when you're going to look at this, the last 10 game stats, when you get to game 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 in the season, become very important. But for the first few games, mean nothing, and because you already got it with your season average to begin with. So Nazem Kadri in at the wing with Gabriel Landeskog and Brandon Saad, 3,800. And I'm going to go ahead, and this is my theory on this, and it's really not theory, it's kind of fact. But my theory is you're only going to get a little bit of a gain trying to put stuff together. What goalie do I go with? Well, Colorado's probably got better. They got a better team. You got a better chance at a win. And you get points for wins. And if these guys go off, that means they're probably going to score goals. At least 2. And if they score at least 2 goals, the mathematical percentage chances of Colorado getting a victory increases. So I'm going to go ahead and put, for now, Grobauer in at net. So I got a 5,400 average, and I can pay cheap down. I can pay for another very good line amongst the ordeal. So let's just see, which other line do I want to try to put in? I can put the Leafs in again, but I've already got a couple Leaf action. I'm going to go away from that. I could put a Tampa Bay line in, Steven Stamkos' top line. I could put Patrick Kane's line in for Chicago, although Vasilevsky's a very tough goalie to go up against. I can look at the Philadelphia stack, although it's where do you go on Philly? I mean, you go with Claude Giroux, I suppose. I don't think. I'm even just thinking, do I just go with Austin Matthews again, though? Connor McDavid again? I'm going to go with Austin Matthews, see if it can be done. Put him in at center, Mitchell Marner at the wing. I got a 4,000 average. And I might as well I got Marner at flex, so I might as well put him at center for now. 4,000 average can make this happen. I can still stick Joe Thornton in there if I choose to desire. As Joe Thornton has a cost of $3,600, that would even increase my average a little bit. Maybe I can afford Cale Makar. Let's see if that's possible. And Cale Makar is a Colorado defenseman. Although, well, I'm trying to think. Well, you never know. Defensemen can go back and forth with the regular. I'm trying to find defensemen that would work on regulation. I'd like to put D1 and L1 together for the most part, but Kadri is on the power play, and let's just think. Another way of doing this too is I got 3 players, and as I mentioned, getting 2,500 is not that difficult. So I could subtract 5. Therefore, I know the most expensive player I can get of anybody is 7,000. So what can I get at 7,000 and cheaper? Okay, Mikko Rantanen, interesting, but I mean, how well does Mikko Rantanen really work on here? I mean, and they can switch lines maybe in Rantanen and Kadri, and then you never know. Both lines can go off together too. You can have a big game. But Rantanen does work with Nathan MacKinnon. And do I go for a monster stack? And I haven't really done any of this before where I go Saad, Landeskog, Kadri, MacKinnon, Rantanen, or MacKinnon, or something like that. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. So what else do we got? Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Elias Pettersson. Pettersson's pretty good. Jake Gensel. I want to just go to utility. I don't want to see goalies. David Perron, Brendan Gallagher. I don't want to go Gallagher at that price. Victor Hedman, William Nylander, Chris Letang, Ryan O'Reilly, Andre Palat. There's Cale Makar, who I can't afford. That would leave me with 6,000 for 2 players, which would be a 3,500 max moving forward. But I'm more excited putting in Makar if I'm putting in a MacKinnon stack. Shea Weber, Bo Horvat, JT Miller, James Schwartz. Alexander Edler's just a good defenseman. He can get some interesting key points just by grinding it, basically. Although, I was going to say, I don't want to take St. Louis players too much because I'm already taking a Colorado stack. So that's like the iffy, like Colin Parayko kind of deal. Daniel Nurse, Zach Hyman, Nate Schmidt. Nate Schmidt's a good player. I want to see, who can I get? Who is way overpriced at this stage? TJ Brody. And I got a Toronto stack as it is. But 4,800 isn't the cheapest of prices. He's got some potential. There's Tyson Berry again, just a single plug and play. But I mean, 4,400. That's good. I'm looking for really good deals here. And I know I've already seen a lot of good ones in the 3,000 range on the defensemen, like the Travis Sanheim. But 3,800, nah. I'm just going back to the playoffs and how well he blocks shots. How much do I want to go with Mikheyev in Toronto? Not really. And I got Joe Thornton I can always stick in too, as mentioned. Eric Cernak. I could put Morgan Riley in for defense for Toronto as well. Okay, who do we see cheap that just stands out for me? Lekanen for Montreal, not really. I mean, if you knew Josh Archibald was playing with good players, he could be an interesting player. Paul Byron for Montreal. He was showing some signs of breaking out, I thought. Bellemare for Colorado. No, he's just a mean, tough guy. That's what I'm thinking of. Sundqvist for St. Louis, though. I mean, I got a Colorado defensive stack, but Marco Scandella, 2,600, not bad. Wayne Simmons for Toronto. Wayne Simmons is on power play line, too. Most certainly a price save. Now, if I'm going this, I'm going with stud defenseman. I don't mind that, but he is on PP2. But again, I'm going to want to put this on when I'm going with Toronto guys on PP2. So I don't think I'm going to go on that level with there. So let's put Morgan Riley in for now and see where we stand, because I want to play him with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. Now I got a 3,200 for defense and forward, 6,400 total. So I cannot. So my most expensive player is 3,900. So Yakamoto, Danault, Alexander Killhorn, don't want any part of him. John Marino. Joel Maria, let's see, who do we got? Mikheyev, Cernak. Ryan probably goes back to the well and just McDonough and Han are just Dahan. They're just a safe place. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Just put in, see what I got left after putting in Dahan and get the best player that I can get left in flex. Okay. 3,200. Lawton, JVR, Ryan McDonough, Hoffman. What's going on with what I see Hoffman on the news on Roto World? Was that a trade or something? Hoffman signing a PTO comes at a bit of surprise, as he might have been the best free agent still in the market. Former Ottawa Senator. Where's Hoffman playing? And Hoffman's playing on line 2 with James Schwartz and Thomas. That'll work. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.